All right, welcome to the Chosen Scoop. I'm Sarah McKee, and today we are interviewing Regina at JA. Regina, thank you for joining us today. Chosen Payments has a partnership with JA, providing benefits to the members and the vendors of JA, and we wanted to take a few minutes to chat with you and talk to you about your industry, you yourself, current chain of events, how your industry is overcoming challenges, things of that nature. How are you today?
Whew, I am good. Yeah.
Good. Good.
Very good.
So let's start with Regina. Tell us a little bit about how you got into the industry and ultimately how you ended up at JA, and talk a little bit about your position with JA.
Funny story, I answered a newspaper ad. And Cartier, at the time, was moving its wholesale operations to Connecticut. And I thought, I was actually writing for a magazine, a business magazine. And the benefits that they offered were so amazing. I called up the HR person. I said, hey, I'd like to just talk to you a little bit about this article I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And by the end of my conversation with her, they offered me a job. So I started in customer service at Cartier, and I was there for about 5 years. And I was really fortunate because I worked with a great guy. His name was Mike Beliveau, and he left to go start up Swiss Army brands. And I went with him. And Swiss Army was like a dream job, right? Because I started,
Right.
started with 2 models, and when I left, it was a $50 million company. So that's really how I got into the jewelry business. And that was about almost 30 years ago.
You're a veteran in the industry.
Yep.
And then you've been with JA for 2 years?
Been with JA for 2 years, but I was also their vendor for 8 years when I was with GE, and now it's called Synchrony Financial. So I knew the JA team very well. I knew what they did. I worked with them, to achieve common goals. So now it's kind of like I'm on the JA side. So I've been with them 2 years, and it's a great organization.
Yes, we love working with Jewelers of America. It's been a goal of ours for years. So you've been amazing at supporting Chosen Payments and helping us design programs for your members, things of that nature. You've been in the jewelry industry a long time. What would you say one of the biggest challenges that your industry has overcome, or even as recent as COVID? Would you say that this is one of the biggest challenges that you've experienced? Are there others?
Yeah. I guess I'm going to call it, like a lot of other industries, it's a roller coaster, right? Right now, the business is trending down about 30% for the year. And if you look back, there's been times historically that's happened. So it also happened right after 9/11. It happened after the crash of 2008. In fact, if you go back to like 9/11, I had just taken a job with Gucci, and sales were about 60 million in watches and jewelry, and it plummeted to like less than half that amount, right? So it's really learning to manage through these, cyclical crises, I call them, right? I mean, you could say that in the 90s when gold was going up and becoming unaffordable. So it's, it's kind of this thing, right? And it's learning to manage through these cycles because, they will happen. This year it's COVID. Who knows what's next, right? But it's if you look back, it's always something. It's just how you manage through them.
How you overcome that. Yeah. I've seen a lot of great strides from some of our jewelers that work with Chosen Payments that are JA members, Jewelers of America members, that they've gotten creative and unique and shifted a little bit, and they're staying strong for the most part from what I can see, and coming together in some of the groups that we're in. So that's great to see. I love the industry. I love the resilience of it. What do you love most about the jewelry industry?
Well, I'll just be honest. It's a pretty industry. You know what I mean? It's like, I was at a jewelry store the other day, and a jeweler was showing me a 6-carat diamond. You don't see that every day. and I love going to the jewelry shows and seeing this beautiful jewelry, right? But it's not only like these 6 carat diamonds that are beautiful, right? I mean, these are, just a pair of costumes, right? They're not, it's plated, it's no special stone. So I kind of love everything from the beautiful high-end stones to also just a great way you could accessorize your look.
Yeah.
With the jewelry. And again, it doesn't have to be high end. I mean, you could mix it up. It's just fun.
I experienced that with you at a show. We walked over to a jewelry counter. Do you remember? And you purchased quite a few things that were costume jewelry.
Yeah.
They were pretty. Yeah. I'm intrigued.
I try not to be a jewelry snob, right? I mean, I do have some nice pieces that I've done over the years, but you don't have to be snobby about it.
No.
I work close from the Gap and close from Neiman Marcus too. So I kind of take that same methodology to my own jewelry.
Depends on the situation, right?
Yeah, it's pretty.
What do you see for the future of the jewelry industry as of right now? What do you or what are the goals that you think? As I know, Jewelers of America works hard for their members, and you prepare education and try to stay in front of everything for your members. Mm-hmm. What's the goals, I guess, as of right now for the future of helping the jewelers and preparing? I know you and I were talking offline a little bit about hopefully, trade shows coming up, because that's a big networking opportunity. Jewelers of America puts on a great event that we were unable to attend this year because we couldn't have it. So, what do you see, in the future? What are you seeing from your perspective?
Well, I think one thing that we see in the jewelry industry, which is probably the same in a lot of other retail type businesses, is that online shopping has been escalated due to COVID.
Yeah.
And, I say there's a lot of jewelers who have websites, but they don't necessarily have online shopping. So online shopping, I see as something that is really going to trend higher. Right. That's going to start growing. I'm also seeing a shift. You could say that years ago was independent jewelers, then all of a sudden mall jewelers started opening, right? I'm seeing the shift where a lot of these independents, we call them the mom and pops or the Main Street jewelers, are beginning to have great business. They see their business grow because consumers who do want that experience, they can get a better personal experience with their local hometown jeweler. And it's easy for the local hometown jeweler to drive, hey, I'm going to drive this piece off and deliver it to your front door, as opposed to, a mall jeweler. And I have nothing against mall jewelers. There's some great jewelers also. But I do see that trend, and I'm hearing it from a lot of local jewelers that they've seen their business actually kind of,
increase a little bit.
And I think the independent jeweler, because they are independent, right? They answer to themselves. They can be a little more flexible. They don't have a chain of people they have to go through to get an answer, right? They're the decision there.
Yep, and in a lot of the retail business, to your point, people are striving to support the independent businesses, jewelers, and do that instead of shopping from Big America or going to the superstores and purchasing, because we're trying to keep the local economies going. So, and with the websites, that's something that we've seen as well on our end, as jewelers requesting for shopping carts and creating that simplicity and the steps that they need to take to make sure that they validate their orders and create fraud protection and things of that nature. So as that enhances and we learn more about what their concerns are, we've been working with jewelers to help them tidy up those fine details to make sure that sale is easy for their clients, and verifiable for the merchant before they send out that piece of.
And that's one thing I think we've had you do some webinars on, because it's so important. We do like to provide a lot of education as a trade association. That's what we're supposed to be doing, and helping our jewelers, right? We're supposed to be telling them a lot of times what they don't know, but they need to know. So I know Chosen Payments has done a webinar for us on, security online. And we also promoted that you have this experience. So jewelers need it.
Yep. As they continue to grow in that space. And we're spending time, I don't know if I've shared this with you yet, we're spending time on our end working on, developing some additional steps that might be helpful in the case of a chargeback, or to make sure that it's not a fraudulent transaction, and working on that, which is something we might not have thought about 6 months ago, because it wasn't a big market, not that it's a big market, but it wasn't, it's doubled. The website's going up, and the work that we've done to integrate some of these jewelry stores online, we were, quick to say, we can set you up. We got the shopping carts in place. So it's good to see that they can transition from in-store when we're closed down, and in states that they're being extra careful if someone's nervous, they can go online and still purchase from their local people, or even promoting gift card purchases now for purchasing later. To help those businesses out.
Exactly.
Do you have any advice for your peers in the industry regarding anything really in general, regarding the industry, or if they're struggling, or if they're transitioning, or just advice for in general?
Well, my number one piece of advice would be to make sure you're a member of Jewelers of America, because we offer a lot of great benefits. But other than that, there is a lot of information out there to help people, like on the PPP loans, on regulations, on how you should advertise that. So, there's the Jewelers Vigilance Organization. There's American Gem Society. There's the GIA. There's a lot of industry associations that have a lot of information that is out there, and really at no charge for the retailers to listen in on. And, just Google it, you'll find out. We have on the Jewelers of America site, every webinar we've done this year, we have it in a recording that you can access. So if you listen, on, how to keep your store, sanitized, we have a webinar. You can just go listen to that. We have a whole deck of webinars, and I know some of our other associations in the industry, do. So there is a lot of information out there. And if you can't find what you're looking for, call us, because if I don't have it, I might know another association that has it.
To get it for them.
Listen, we've all got to, I know this is kind of like a cornball overused expression right now, but we've really got to help each other out.
Oh yeah, 100%. Agreed, 100%. So if a jeweler is watching this video, the replay on this video, and they were wondering, what are the 3 top benefits of becoming part of Jewelers of America, what would you say to them?
Well, we break it up into 3 categories. Resources, and that's things like we negotiate the best rates with Synchrony, chosen payments, FedEx. We're just launching a new, even better, improved program with FedEx, right? So we have a number of these resources where they can actually save money, and in many cases, more than the membership fee. So it's kind of like it pays for itself. So we have those resources. We have recognition. So that's the second benefit, or the big overarching benefit. Being recognized as a Jewelers of America jeweler, putting the badge in your store, the code of ethics, being on our jeweler locator. So all these ways as a jeweler you can be recognized. And then the last is representation. We have a PAC, a political action committee in Washington, and it's been very, very important. I believe last year when you were at our conference, you got to hear them speak. And we also have fly-ins. So we will coordinate going in and meeting with your congressman and talking about things that are important to you and your business. So, we break it up into those 3 R's. Just getting back to those, to me, I think, because I manage the resources, right? So to me, that's the most important, right? Because that's my gig. But, we have a scholarship program where we'll pay for 60% of your GIA course, right? So if an average GIA course, just even like the basics, I think it's $395. So we'll pay for 60% of that. So, if my math tells me correctly, that's, it's $160 right there, or my math isn't even right. No, it's like $220. Like, what will reimburse you for your course is more than your membership. So
that's a huge benefit to improve their business and their knowledge.
The financial benefits of being a member are really amazing. So it costs nothing to even call up and ask us, hey, what about this? And we're happy to share it.
And help. Yeah. Thank you for all of that. And I want to start with closing by thanking you for working with us, because just working through the process with you to become the a preferred vendor of JA. I was personally involved in that process, and it was a long process for us, because you wanted to make sure that the benefit was good, the program was created, that we were going to take care of your members, and so we appreciate the detail that you had us prepare for you or present to you, so that you could make sure you made the best choice for your program. And it's been amazing from a vendor perspective to work with Jewelers of America, because Jewelers of America is so supportive of the programs that you have vetted and approved for your members. So, the energy, the events that we've been to, I was super disappointed again that we weren't able to attend the event this year, understandably, but we made a lot of connections and contacts and met a lot of other vendors and members at in New York last year. So it's been super beneficial for us as a vendor, and rewarding, right? So just the education and talking to your members about, how can we help them? It's kind of a feel good thing. It's nice to get involved in an industry, learn the industry, and help the members while doing business together as well.
It's all about relationships. And, like I said, my first job in the industry was with Cartier. And I was really fortunate because only the best jewelers sell Cartier. So very early on, I developed relationships with these jewelers. And there is I could say there's a couple that are really special to me. Like, there's one guy every year, him and his wife, I meet them in Vegas. We always have a dinner together. It's really about relationships. And even as the whole way the Chosen relationship came about was a total chance thing. I met one of your agents, Michael, and I met him like when I was with GE, like 8 years ago on a street corner. And we were both going to the JA show in New York together. And that became
a relationship.
Is a relationship, right?
Yep.
And then when I went to when I came to JA, we started talking. I'm like, hey, how can I bring you guys here? Because I have good trust, and I trust Michael. Everyone I knew was that, so I said, he is a trustworthy person to me, and he must be with a trustworthy company, right? So, so again, it's relationships. And many of the people you met last year at our national convention, which we are having next year, it's relationships. And that is the success for any business or any person in any industry, is keeping good relationships.
I agree 100%. I've created some great relationships with all of you outside of the business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We love you.
The trade show, we do our business, and then we have the after hours, or the day before, the day early, and the dinners, and the roaming. Like, you met Michael on the street corner, and Michael would talk about Regina. So to me, your name was burnt in my brain. My friend Regina. It was always my friend Regina. So I agree with you 100%. Relationships is huge, and people do business with people as long as what they're giving them has value and is a valid company and trustworthy.
Well, hey, some people, they have those meetings on the golf course, right? We can't do that, right? Because we're always traveling. We're at trade shows, so our golf courses are, at night, or in the morning, or we meet for lunch or something like that. So it's. And, for anyone listening, it was a very legitimate meeting with Michael. We were both waiting for a cab. We happened to be staying at the same hotel. So that was just what that was. But it's all relationship driven. And you have been great partners. You, Jeff, Michael, the whole team. And, we're really, we're kind of hoping that this year would be a bigger year for us. But again, there's something that was beyond our control. So let's take what we have and move forward and look forward to 2021, right? There's always another
100%. Now is a time to pull together and really show the loyalty and the value of relationships.
Yeah.
Of how can we go above and beyond and help you and your members without expecting anything, right?
Exactly.
To be authentic in that need to want to help and be there and guide. And so, and I've offered to, and I've spoke to a couple of members that aren't specifically clients of Chosen Payments that just had a few questions
Right.
and didn't want to do anything right now. And that's okay, because as a whole, we care about the industry. So I think that Chosen Payments shares a lot of the same values, or those of us that work here, and right up to our CEO shares a lot of the same values as Jewelers of America. So we really appreciate the relationship, and I appreciate the time that you took to get on and talk to me a little bit about you and the industry and where you're at, where you're going, and Jewelers of America, and of course the lovely Michael Lepore, who is our jewelry, who's our frontline jewelry sales rep, and an amazing person. If it wasn't for him, we might not be having this conversation today. So
he badgered me. Yeah, he did. He guilted me. But happily. So we're very happy with the partnership.